Hello everyone, it's Shannon here for Waffle Flower Crafts. Today we're going to do lots of foiling and make a beautiful floral card with some Thermoweb products. First up are the Waffle Flower products I'll be using today. This is the Bouquet Builder 1 combo set. It comes with the Bouquet Builder stamp set and Bouquet Builder matching die. Right there, you can see it in the back. I'll also be using one of my favorite dies by Waffle Flower. This is the greenery die set, some beautiful tropical leaves in that set. And I'll create my sentiment using the Congrats die. Here are all the Thermoweb products I'll be using to create today's foiled card. I have 3 transfer sheets picked out, so 3 different transfer sheet colors picked out. These are the actual foil that you use to create that shine on your projects. Each container contains 5 sheets, and you can see how large these sheets are. This is a really good bang for your buck. This one is called Emerald Watercolor. It's just a beautiful, varied look. I love this, and I'm going to use this for those tropical leaves that I showed you earlier. And you can see how large the sheet is. The other colors I will be using is the Wild Cherry and Gold. This is a new product by Thermoweb. It's called Clear Designer Toner Sheets. I got these. The pattern on this one is called Groovy. I'll be using that to create a really pretty background. And then I got the Deco Foil Peel and Stick Toner Sheets for my die cutting. So today in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to use Thermoweb products. 3 different ways to incorporate them in your projects. First up is stamping. So I have a piece of coral cardstock here, and I pulled off 2 of the flowers from the Bouquet Builder 1 stamp set, and I'm going to stamp them on this coral cardstock. I'm going to ink them up in Versamark and then stamp them, and then I will heat emboss them with clear. You can use whatever embossing powder you want. Fine makes you get better results with fine embossing powder. And now I'm just going to heat set the embossing powder. And now I'll move on to the foiling. I'm going to be using a laminator today to do my foiling. I have my transfer sheet already cut. This is Wild Cherry. It's cut a little bit larger than my stamped images. You want to make sure that the silver side goes down onto the stamped images and your colored side is faced up towards you. I am not going to use a carrier sheet. I'm just going to feed this through my pre-warmed laminator. So I've had this heating up for a good 30 minutes. You want to make sure your laminator is nice and hot. And I learned this all from Jennifer McGuire, so if you want more info on this technique, please check out her video on her channel. And her video is called Foil and Stamping. Just like Jennifer instructs in her video, I feed the paper with the foil on top through my laminator without a carrier sheet. I will use a carrier sheet for the next example that I show or demonstrate foiling, but for this with the foiling and stamping, she did not use a carrier sheet, so I am not using that as well. You can see here that what happens is the laminator kind of remelts the embossing powder, and that causes the foil to stick to it. And you see my beautiful Wild Cherry foiled flowers that I got from stamping and then foiling. I went ahead and die cut the flowers out using the Bouquet Builder 1 matching die set, and now I'm just going to hold the flowers up to the camera so you can see that beautiful foiling. I love this stamping and foiling technique because now you can use your stamps a whole nother way. Next up, I'm going to show you die cutting and foiling. So I have the Deco Foil Peel and Stick Toner Sheets here. I cut one of the sheets down in half, so it's about 8.5 by 5.5. And now I'm going to do some die cutting. So I pulled off several leaves from the greenery die set and my sentiment from the Congrats die set. Just going to position these dies just like you normally would on cardstock and run them through my die cutting machine just like I normally would. So I went ahead and die cut all these leaves and sentiment out of the peel and stick toner sheet, and now I'm just pulling my dies out. The die cut is actually still inside the dies, so I'll have to use my die cutting pick to pop those die cuts out. And I did get lost a little bit of the backing on that really intricate leaf, and I just popped it right back in place. Because you remember, these are peel and stick toner sheets, so there is a backing that we'll remove later when we stick our die cuts to our projects. And now I'm just cleaning out some of the negative spaces, especially on that sentiment. There's a lot of little negative pieces that I want to remove because I don't want those foiled. And I've got my die cuts ready. So now I'm moving on to different colored transfer sheets. I have that emerald watercolor, that beautiful green one. I'm going to use that one for my leaves. And I have a carrier sheet. This carrier sheet came with the peel and stick toner sheets, and I'm going to use this for the die cuts. It just makes it easier to kind of feed all these smaller ones through, and you get really good results too. So I'm arranging the leaves so they fit underneath the rectangle that I cut from that emerald green transfer sheet. I'm just going to place it on top here, and then I will fold this carrier sheet over. And again, this carrier sheet came with the peel and stick toner sheets. It feels kind of like parchment paper. It's kind of what it feels like. And I'm feeding it now through my machine. And once the machine grabs, the laminator grabs it, it'll kind of feed it all the way through. And once it's through, I'll open it up here. And you can see already how the transfer sheet is stuck down to those toner sheets. I'll peel that transfer sheet off, and I'll have these beautiful foiled kind of molten green look. I really love this emerald watercolor transfer sheet. Just really cool. And Thermoweb has so many different transfer sheets. You could really have so much fun with. There's tons of colors and different effects. Really lots of fun for card making. Now I'm going to do my sentiment. I just have a piece of gold transfer sheet here, placed it on top again with the silver side is down on the black side of my toner sheets with the colored side facing up. Ran it through my laminator, and now I'm peeling off the gold. Now I'm going to move on to the third way I'm going to foil today. This third way, I'm using the clear designer toner sheets. This pattern I'm using is called Groovy. I've trimmed down one of the sheets to 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, so slightly smaller than an A2 panel. And I'm going to foil some of these, more of this wild cherry on top of this. Now the toner sheets have two sides. So these clear toner sheets have two sides. One side that actually has the toner, which is raised. This is the side I'm showing to the camera. You may see slight raised. This is the other side without the toner, and it's smooth. You can kind of tell by running your finger over it to feel the texture. You want to make sure that you're placing your transfer sheet on the toner side. If you don't place your transfer sheet on the toner side, you won't get any of the foil transferring. So I have the toner side up, and then I'm going to place my transfer sheet on top, place it inside the carrier, and then feed it through my laminator. I'll open it up here and I'll show you. I was blown away by this result. It was just so beautiful. I can't wait to try this for a shaker card. I just think that would be so pretty, that clear and that foil, and then your sparkle shaker contents on the inside. Just really pretty results. Okay, so now we're ready to put the card together. I have an A2 panel cut with that coral paper that I used for the flowers. I'm going to use a tape runner here and attach it to an A2 top folding card base made out of 110-pound white cardstock. My lining up, or my A2 panel, is slightly smaller than my card base, so I'm just going to use a pair of scissors here, tucking the blade right underneath the coral panel to get a nice clean edge. So now that this is all trimmed, I'm ready to adhere the clear toner sheet or clear foiled sheet to my card base. Now, even though this is clear, I'm still going to use the tape runner to adhere this, but I'm just going to put a small amount in all the corners. I put a little bit more on that lower left corner because I know I'm going to have my flowers and leaves there, but I still wanted to make sure this would lay flat, so I did put a little bit of that tape at all four corners. Now, before I adhere my leaves down, I'm going to take this Congrats that I cut out of craft foam and adhere it to the back of my foiled Congrats. This is just going to add some nice dimension. I have a glue and a fine tipped glue bottle here just to add small drops of glue to my craft foam, and then I will place the foiled Congrats directly on top. And I kind of use my fingers pinching the two Congrats together to get them to line up directly one on top of the other. Once I've got them lined up, I will show you real quick and then I'll put this aside. I do have those center craft foam pieces I'll have to pop out later, but I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I do that. While that's drying, I'm going to start to adhere these leaves. I'm going to pull off that backer sheet, and now I have a sticky side, and I will place this directly down onto my card base. I'll repeat this process, removing the backing and then sticking them down for all 4 of my leaves. And just kind of arranging them here at the lower left corner. I will cover up the stems or the base of the leaves with the flowers, so it's okay that they're not overlapping or there's a big gap between these leaves, because you will never notice once I adhere the flowers. So I'm kind of positioning the flowers, seeing where I want them. I'm going to use some Tombow Mono multi-liquid adhesive to glue these flowers down. Start with the small one and then move to the larger one so I can overlap that larger one just a little bit over the small one. And then once that's done, I'm going to grab my sentiment. It's now dry, so I'm going to pop out the craft foam centers there that I left in the craft foam congrats. Use some more of the Tombow Mono multi-liquid adhesive here to add little drops of glue to the back side, and then I'll stick this down onto my card base. And with that congrats now stuck down, my card is now all finished. I'll hold it up to the camera here so you can see all that beautiful foiling. I think it's really fun that you can incorporate foiling 3 different ways into your card making, stamping, die cutting, and even with these clear designer toner sheets. Lots of fun things you can do with these Thermoweb products. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want any more information on the products I use, please visit waffleflower.com. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching.